Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the StarLadder ImbaTV Dota 2 Minor Season 3. It's me, Tsunami, joined by Lacoste. Just finished up this first series of the day. On this secondary stream, it was Team Aster coming out on top of Boom. And now we're moving on to two new regions. We are going to be moving on to Europe versus South America as we see Alliance take on NoPing Esports.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting matchup. Definitely Alliance favored,
Yeah.
but NoPing coming from South America. There's a huge difference between like Beast Coast, I'd say, even though some of these teams can take games away from them. If you remember the tiebreakers that went to
the forever qualifier.
Yeah, but NoPing has some notable names. You have Tavo, who played for Chaos. You have forDR, which is known to be an extremely good mid laner. Teoldicor also played for these tier 2.5 South American teams. Same goes for Costa Bile or Costa Bal, whatever you want to call
You're going
them.
out of order, Lacoste. I want to talk about Alliance first.
All right.
Show me these guys. 33, Limmp, Nikobaby, Handsken, and Fata. These guys came out on top in the bloodbath that was the European minor qualifier. And I think it's warranted. Europe's hotly contested, and they beat Nigma and Liquid fair and square.
They did. I'd say the last game when he had 2 rapiers on Medusa, that was something else. You can also say that Nigma kind of gave them on the silver platter, but can't take anything away from Alliance. Their performance has been stable for quite some time, something they did not have with the previous roster, where they could pretty much lose against anyone. With the addition of some of the new players, I'd say this team is looking hot, and you should be worried about the Medusas, about any kind of late game. They play variety of the heroes. They know how to draft. Even though they don't have a coach, I believe Loda is not like coaching them anymore.
Not as much of an influence.
He gave up,
one,
so he's just doing something else. Man, look at Tavo.
The man's smooth. Born
Those mustache, it looks like some kind of musketeer mustache.
He looks like Pango.
It's one of his favorite heroes to play.
For sure, I can see why. And as you had mentioned also, the roster has been mostly consistent. Really, it's just their 5 position that is a new introduction. Who we don't really know too much about him. I think NoPing is like the only team that KJ has been on before. But aside from that, this is like his first DPC event, so it'll be an interesting debut of what he's capable of. As we saw, they had a reasonably respectable journey to make it here. They beat out Furia in the grand finals of this qualifier. They also beat out Infamous in Pain, the other teams in this South American minor qualifier. So this is a deserved place to be, and I'm curious to see what these players are capable of versus a real, going up against
a real team.
A real team, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, if you compare Alliance to, let's say, Pain Gaming, Infamous, Furia, they are level ahead of them.
For sure. This is a tier 1 team. Yeah. Alliance is a tier 1 team.
Yes, they are. No doubt about it. But what NoPing can do, they are known to go for these cheesy picks, cheesy strats. They last pick Arc Warden. They know how to play Huskar. They really love to last pick TA if the matchup is good for them. I'm not saying TA is a cheese hero, don't get me wrong. It's just they know how to draft and how to utilize the 10th pick.
Yeah. Or, I mean, South American teams are famous for even picking TA in earlier phases as well. It's just that you're going to be going up against Limmp, and Limmp is incredibly mechanically talented. Many people have considered him to be one of the most mechanically skilled mid laners for his entire career in Dota 2.
If you know how to play TA, you know how to play against TA.
Exactly.
So you know the matchups very well on that mid lane, and this is where your team captain asks you, what do you want to play?
Yeah. and I'm sure the captain will also be asking Nikobaby the same thing. You had mentioned Medusa, a hero that we
Well,
had seen.
hold on there. I mean, you can't ask anyone in the team what do you want to play. Otherwise, you're just gonna end up with a fun or slash funny lineup.
Who are you going to give more leeway? You're going to give your mid laner of Limmp, or are you going to give your safe lane carry of Nikobaby? I feel like Nikobaby will win more games.
I mean, for certain matchups, you're gonna ask him like, what do you think it's good here? Especially if you have the last pick.
Yeah.
But they will prioritize Nikobaby's pick.
That's what I'm thinking. Although so Medusa is one thing that we mentioned. Void does not seem particularly popular. Faceless Void, not Void Spirit. Void Spirit's very popular, but Faceless Void these days kind of fell off a little bit. I think his Ag's changing and the Chronosphere just getting nerfed in general.
I'd say he fell off hard.
You would say or you wouldn't
seconds
say? Yeah.
On ulti,
It's
and
brutal.
if you can't get any, if you misplace it, if enemy that you killed got buyback, it's really. I don't know. It just spell feels like one of the worst. Not feels. It definitely is the worst scaling spell in the game. 0.5 seconds per level.
Yeah.
Yes, you still have like the most team fighting ability in the game besides like Enigma. I still don't think it's enough. It's a very situational. Also, you need to pick heroes that can deal damage inside of Chronosphere.
Yeah.
I love the Void Snapfire. Yeah.
So that is potential. All these carries that have high cooldown ultimates just don't seem popular. Like CK also. Phantasm has been...
Who?
His name is Chaos Knight. You may remember.
Never heard of him.
I think he rides a horse or something like that. They tell me that he's a hero in the game, but I have not seen him for a while. Maybe one of those like secret boss unlock type things.
What about position? Just kidding. Now, the hero feels in a really tough spot. There's always a hero. If you just think about heroes as what he does, and if there's a better hero that does the same thing, there's always going to be like, yeah, maybe we should just pick something else instead of CK.
It seems like his targeted stun was like one of the most valuable things, and now I'm seeing a lot of Dragon Knight be very popular to do that. Yep. Just a very tanky strength hero who can push and can have a targeted stun. Why pick CK if you can just have Dragon Knight instead?
So you can use Reality Rift and the enemy jukes you in fog. Like
great item. Or they blink out immediately after because it does no damage.
It's one of the most obnoxious spell to cast.
Dude, that cast animation, I get fogged so much. Him and I...
Get fogged.
Get fogged.
Yeah.
Get fogged hardcore. Yeah, but I mean, Nikobaby has plenty of other heroes. Lifestealer did get nerfed, as we had mentioned in the previous series. Still a very strong hero. One that was getting banned a lot in the previous series. But I think that if I was NoPing, I would target Nikobaby the most, I think. I think Nikobaby wins Alliance the most games, and so if you can manage to shut him down, then that's your best chance of being able to come out on top.
It sounds good on paper. How do you actually do it?
Not my problem.
Not my problem either. I don't want to talk about it. I mean, it's hard if you just straight up ban the heroes that he plays, because he plays a lot of different heroes, but we're going to see
offlaners versus a
here.
mid.
Yeah.
This is an interesting head-to-head right here.
It's 40R against 33 offlane. Yeah, different numbers, different roles.
I mean, the graphs just clearly the mid is just more impactful than the offlane.
No, it got me stunned because I was thinking 40R. I don't remember him playing offlane.
Yeah, I saw it first. Although 33 does pop into the mid lane every once in a while. It doesn't happen as much on Alliance, but I remember his time on like the PPD teams. He was definitely given some cheese mid laners every once in a while, like his Broodmother or something like that. And 4DR, aka Adriano. I mean, there are a lot of names on NoPing that, like, it's not like really KJ is the only one that I haven't heard of competitively.
4 of those players go way back, especially Tavo. He's been playing Dota since Dota 1 days and was successful, especially in his region. Had some international exposure when he was playing with We and Misery, the old Chaos / Pain Gaming. One of the players who's always easy to talk to, comes to say hi.
Yeah, he's very friendly.
Extremely skilled. I don't know if they want to do it. It's hard to predict. You don't have enough games to try to guess what they're gonna go for. But his Pango, his Enigma, his Sanking were always legendary.
Yo, Sanking, what happened to that hero?
Oh,
I haven't seen Sanking in ages.
CK treatment.
Yeah, so a lot of people were blaming it on how you can't Quelling Blade or Tango Sentry Wars anymore.
Yes,
and
that is correct.
He can't just sit in Sandstorm and win the lane automatically. So I had no idea.
It requires teamwork now. You need placing a sentry, try to find it, and just hit it.
But he can't solo anymore. Then I guess that means.
But I mean, you can say that's a double-edged sword that changes the sentry and the Quelling Blade. If you're talking about Sanking, where you place a sentry first, and then they can't place it. I mean, it's hard to digest, but I think it's nerfed the Sanking overall.
Yeah, it's just not a particularly popular hero. But Bango is very popular, so Tavo still definitely has some favorites to rely on. Elsewhere, I guess, Fata? What's Fata been up to?
Oh, Fata's positioning overall, he had... the previous season was really rough on him, to be honest. His performance was questionable, and now in position 5, he looks so comfortable.
Yeah.
He goes also way back, has a lot of experience, played on the top teams, and his shot calling drafts, everything's on point. He gets more farm than other position 5s, because I guess that's the mentality over the years. Where you were just hitting creeps, no matter which lane you played. It's kind of hard to get rid of that. And I remember his Abaddon always being on the different, when Abaddon was popular as position 5, being on the different side of the map, getting the farm, the items. It's not about the farm. Like, if you talk about position 5 Abaddon back in the days, where he just fishes for some kind of attention. They rotate 3 heroes. It takes a lot of time because of the ulti to take him down.
And then you deny yourself.
So, then you... Thank God that's gone.
That is gone now. No
providing your team with information so your other cores can play and farm more aggressively, that's what he does, like, extremely good.
Yeah. And having studied under so many skilled captains, he has definitely absorbed a great deal of that knowledge, as we do see the crown next to his name as we jump into the draft. Game 1, Alliance versus NoPing. And wow, already going into reserve time on the first ban. My dude, what were you just doing in the lobby?
Yeah, they really came prepared, huh? What if they don't ban anything? Is that a sign of confidence, or...?
It's true. If you give them all overpowered heroes, then like that's the best way to learn how to play against them.
What if they have like 5 weird heroes locked in already, so they are playing mind games right now?
Oh, I see.
Maybe someone disconnected. Let me check. No, we're still in the game.
They crunch the numbers and they end up coming up with a Timbersaw ban. That's a wow, real exotic ban coming out from them. Alliance
Didn't
respond.
expect that one.
No. Maybe we'll see a Nyx Assassin ban if either team wants to pick up a Snapfire. NoPing actually does ban out the void, Faceless Void. God, I hate that I can't say Void anymore. It just doesn't mean anything. They ban out the Faceless Void. It's obviously a favorite of Nikobaby, but as we had said earlier, not a particularly strong hero in 7.24b.
I mean, if you say Void, I'd still think of Faceless Void first.
Only for right now. It's because you have like a decade of Faceless Void, but you know, 6 more months of Void Spirit being top tier, it's gonna get very vague. You can't even
call him VS.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't say VS
because we have Vengeful Spirit in the game.
Thankfully, like Snap, we were able to just turn into Snap because you couldn't say SF for her theoretically. It's not 2 words, but still, Snap is single syllable. You can roll it off really quick.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but yeah, no VS, no Void. And I don't. What is his name? Inai? I think Inai.
Oh, I don't know.
They added it to the hero search thing in case that's how you want to pick him. INAI, however you pronounce that, is like, I don't know.
Nah, he's probably one of the Anunnaki people.
The
I
what?
don't know.
I'm not familiar with this race.
It's not from Dota.
Oh, okay.
It's from real life.
Oh, real life. I don't want to bring real life into this.
Tinfoil hats on.
Real conspiracy stuff. Oh man, I hope someone picks Phoenix and we get the Illuminati pyramid. That would be so hype. Alliance do end up banning the Nyx Assassin. That heavily implies that a Snapfire may be on the table. NoPing ban out the Oracle, a hero that was very popular in the last series that we just watched between Aster and Boom.
both of these teams taking their
Yeah,
time
what is going on
during
here?
ban phase. Like, I feel like we're in this game for 10 minutes.
How's this much reserve time needed for first phase ban? This is baffling. I mean, they do want to go for Snapfire. I mean, really all you need to be worried about is the Nyx Assassin. I guess any other team fight stuff would be nice.
NoPing usually opens with Puck Lich.
Okay.
They love Void Spirit. I saw some Chens. Also, Puck is like their go-to hero, mostly played on the mid lane.
Okay.
But I think in one game they swapped it to position 3/4.
So a little bit of flexibility.
Oh, that hero, that's the one that we forgot. Received a little bit of nerf in the previous patch, mana cost and impetus, but still, like if you just get one extra mango, either delivered or bought at start, hero that is flexible, has built-in the spell, which is pretty huge, and the pure damage from impetus.
Yeah, one of the most irritating heroes to lane against right now. I would have never thought that Enchantress would be up there with like Viper and Razor in terms of heroes.
You know
that I just
why?
hate.
Wait, what if we swap ulti and you have it level 1?
What if we give her best spell at level 1 and give her... Well, Untouchable is still like a really good spell, but you know, it's not nearly...
All right, Alliance, they are showing dominance from the start. Medusa first phase.
You got Nikobaby. What are you afraid about? That man will carry you through hell with this hero. Super comfort pick. And Disruptor.
I love the opener. Disruptor as a potential counter to Slark. He does not want to play against Disruptor. You have a guaranteed glimpse, even though you can get rid of the Thunderstrike. It's still, you can't itemize other than BKB against the Static Storm.
Will she be? Will Disruptor be good at dealing with Enchantress though? Because well, I guess Medusa is probably gonna be mid lane, or do we not know yet?
All right.
Whoa.
Well, totally different approach from what
heck?
we've seen in Series 1 today. Super late game heroes picked up in the first phase. They're not joking. They came here to win.
Is Spectre good right now? I feel like I very rarely see Spectre these days. Spectre does not seem particularly strong.
Spectre's always good. It's a reliable carry that always comes back to meta somehow. Doesn't matter if she's nerfed to that. There's always going to be a couple of teams that, you know what we should pick? Spectre. Underlord. That's interesting.
Yeah. Pick that as a second phase ban. Against Spectre, a hero who obviously inherently gets very, very tanky. The kind of scaling damage from Firestorm may be a little bit difficult for her to deal with. But yeah, the first phase also, like if they knew they were going to pick Spectre, why not just save it until the end? No one's going to ban Spectre against you.
10 seconds remaining.
What would be the
What
incentive?
if?
What if they banned Spectre?
No, what if?
What if?
Spectre's not position 1.
Whoa.
Mind blown.
You're going into uncharted territory here, Lacoste.
I mean, we've seen Void Spirit played as position 3/4.
Sure.
Nah, this is definitely
tell me
scary Spectre.
Rush Aghanims on Spectre, get the Shadow Step going, ganking roaming Spectre. I like it.
Getting Manta style, Diffusal Blade always feels good against Medusa.
No Radiance.
I'm not saying it's... depends on the game, how the game develops. If you're going for that Radiance, Medusa's having a free time early on. She can just snowball, and with the Divine Rapier being so popular, contest the Roche, you can end the game before she can get Radiance up.
It's true. And then since the Rapier build is so common on Medusa, that also means that the mischance from the Radiance just would not really be that important. NoPing ban out the Viper, so another source of break has been banned out as Nyx Assassin has already been banned, so Spectre feels pretty safe joining into fights, not having to lose her dispersion.
10 seconds remaining.
And Alliance ban out the Razor, possibly indicating that they may want some melee hero.
You see a lot of Medusas, but what happened to Sniper?
Alliances turn
Like, this hero has been extremely popular in the Chinese scene as a counter to Medusa. In the laning stage, you out-CS her.
I think it has potential in this game, honestly. It has the same issues that we've been talking about in the previous series about Oracle. Like, there's so many good assassination heroes.
I don't think you want to have Spectre and Sniper in the same game, but
10
like,
seconds remaining.
overall, it should be an okay pick against Medusa lineups where they group up, having Shrapnel, the long range, especially if they don't have enough gap closers.
Yeah, and like you said, it's just something that's very irritating for Medusa to deal with in the mid lane. Alliance also banned out the Templar Assassin, so they really just want to protect this Medusa mid. Want to make sure that she is as comfortable as a game as possible. They're still like, I don't really see too much Lina these days. We saw the Queen of Pain in the last series. Queen of Pain would not be a bad choice to go up against the Medusa mid. Definitely a hero that can create space for a Spectre. And they will pick up a Phoenix. Oh man, okay, I really hope he has the
definitely
Immortal.
has it.
Let's hope so, man. I mean, it could be a 33 Phoenix. Right?
Could be.
So there's a little bit of flex potential with this Phoenix pick. Interesting.
Snapfire still in the pool. That hero is so good against Phoenix Egg.
Yeah,
with
the Shredder.
Little Shredder, yeah.
Yeah, that attack speed is very valuable, being able to shut down that egg. Same thing, Juggernaut also a possibility. I guess Jug mid is not really a thing, so maybe...
God, hope not.
would not really fit too well into NoPing's draft. Aside from that, I don't know. Phoenix is a good hero. Okay, there's a Snapfire. Obviously just a good hero in general, but very good up against the Phoenix Supernova. Dude, I never see Snapfire picked second phase. It's interesting seeing her this big on my screen because the heroes get... The third hero is always the biggest in the front, and Mortimer is just like all up in my face.
10 seconds remaining.
So they're not revealing anything. Snapfire could probably is 5 here. Enchanters could be 4, could be off lane. Depends on the matchup.
So there's nothing you can really do to protect this Phoenix. We were briefly watching a pub in which Phoenix rushed Aghanim's Scepter to deal with the Snapfire, but I don't really think that's a reliable solution. And now Pango being picked up. Another hero with potential flex possibilities in terms of what role to play.
That's how top-tier teams draft.
Yeah.
If you look at the way Team Secret approaches to draft, like they pick 3, 4 heroes.
They'll pick 5 heroes and you still don't know who's playing what.
You don't know who's playing what, exactly.
Yeah, and like we said, this is the best test for NoPing in terms of international opponents that they could get, so this is a good opportunity to learn.
A lot of South American teams have problem with ping when they're playing online. Now no ping on LAN. Let's see what they can do.
Interesting. It's a good theory.
What is that? Is that a bull?
I think it's like some sort of dog. Or like a pig. It has like a pig snout. I can't really tell. We're referring to the NoPing
pig
logo.
with horns?
Well, it could be ears. Maybe it's like a Batrider mount.
Pretty sure it's bull, but I
those
could be wrong.
Those aren't... Bull horns are like curly. These are like straight.
Demon, that's what
Oh,
it is.
okay. Speaking of Demon, if you pop on over to the other stream, which you shouldn't, you should stick around here, but Business Associates are right now taking on forZe on the other stream. I have no idea how that's going, but we got
It was 1-1.
It was a 1-1 or was
it?
Okay,
1-1.
sweet. Then it's an even... That was looking good for forZe, so... Oh, not good for forZe, so...
Spoilers!
No, spoilers. But you can tune into that if you're curious. And NoPing pick up an Invoker to go up against this Medusa in the mid lane. Interesting choice.
It could still be positioned for Invoker.
You
If they swap Enchantress to the offlane, Snapfire 5. What are you laughing about?
I don't... When was the last time you saw Invoker 4?
Long time ago.
I saw it like at TI, and then it just... Even at TI, it stopped being popular at TI. It was popular in the group stage, and then everyone was like, wait.
Wow, this is so good. And I'm like,
It was really cool.
yeah, it's not that great.
But what are you talking about? Cold Snap Urn is all you need to win the entire game, right? Who cares about scaling in the late game? I'm leaning mid Invoker. I would love to see a 4 Invoker, though.
The global presence is there. You have Invoker. Eventually, he will get points in Exort, the Sunstrike. It could also be Exort build early on, at least a couple of points.
Yeah, both builds are viable. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, you could just go Wexort. That way you have EMP access to deal with the Medusa, and high levels in Sunstrike to synergize with the Spectre's global presence.
Do you think new players, when they don't know Invoker, just go for like 1 Exort, 1 Quas, 1 Wex?
Yeah, I do think that. Because, I mean, you just have access to more spells, you know? It feels good to have all of your spells available. I mean, who cares if they're all weak as hell?
Yeah.
But you
Since they
can-
banned out Broodmother, it could imply that it's a mid invoker.
Yeah, that's true. Because Medusa could very easily go safe lane in this alliance lineup right now. I'm surprised. I don't know if NoPing. Do you by any chance know if NoPing have any Huskar history
10
by any
seconds
chance?
remaining.
They play it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm surprised that
5 seconds
They
maybe-
could go Arc Warden. Nah, they have
Oh,
Spectre and
yeah.
Invoker. No, forget what I just said. But this hero should be okay against Medusa. Like, you need to enter the bubble to deal damage.
Oh yeah, it used to be very popular. Same justification for Arc Warden versus Drow Ranger.
Yes. Even though Drow Ranger is much better now,
Yeah.
with the multi-shot, it works inside the bubble.
Mhm.
You don't need to have True Strike.
Man, Drow Ranger, that hero was super popular for like a month and a half and then just fell off the face of the planet.
Well, she got nerfed a bit.
She did. Which was definitely warranted. Mainly just her not having access to like 5 neutral items at the same time was the biggest nerf.
Turn to pick.
Centaur picked up as the last pick for NoPing Esports, so looking like a 5 Snapfire and a 4 Enchantress. Offlane Centaur, mid Invoker, and the carry Spectre Alliance. We still have no idea what their distribution will be. I'm leaning towards them needing a carry.
Since you're playing against melee, either against the Centaur or Spectre with Pangolier, I assume that's going to be a core Pango, and also Snapfire
5 seconds
counters the
remaining.
Phoenix with Little Shredder, so
True.
I think you want to go to position 4 with that Phoenix. We'll see what they decide to do.
And Bloodseeker going to be picked up. Nikobaby is going to take the Medusa. No big surprise there. Handsken on the Pango. 33 on the Phoenix. And Limmp on the Bloodseeker, which leaves Fata on the Disruptor. So it's no surprise that most people would consider Alliance to be the favorites coming into this series, but I'm content with NoPing's draft. I don't really think they got heavily outdrafted or anything. It's a little bit strange to pick a Spectre this early into their draft, but also maybe they're just trying to match the pace of Alliance. Be like, oh, you want to first phase a hard carry? We can do that too. We're not afraid of you.
Right? Yeah, it could be flexing.
It's flexing.
The only thing I'm worried about is this Invoker, how his early game is going to go. He also doesn't build Midas. I hope so. But yeah, I don't even know if there's going to be Quas Vex Invoker. You're going to lack damage CSing against Medusa.
Yeah. I mean, it would be nice to have access to, like, Cold Snap Spirit Vessel versus, like, a Pango, so he can't jump into Rolling Thunder very easily and stuff like that. But I think you're picking the Invoker because you want to dominate Medusa in the mid lane, and you want to make sure that he can continue to make life hell for Medusa. So Wex Sword seems to be the way to go for me. The damage from the X Sword early on, and then the Mana Burn EMP later on.
Sure, that sounds good for me as well. Huh. The thing is, this Medusa is going to play extremely fast. Bloodseeker doesn't need that many items. They have a good catch with the Disruptor. Alliance draft looking good, and we know that they can end games quickly,
sure.
especially when they have Medusa. You can test the Roche. We've seen this combo in the previous series as well. Bloodseeker buffing up Medusa's damage, giving her lifesteal if she gets the kill.
Yeah.
I'm already liking it.
That combo was proven to be very successful in the previous series that we saw. So already a slight meta starting to emerge in these first few series at the StarLadder ImbaTV Dota 2 Minor Season 3 as we are jumping into the game of NoPing versus Alliance. Nope, just kidding. I need to get better at this. My timing will improve. Well, we're at a pause anyway, so no big deal. We can keep chatting it up. Wait, does he have the
Nah,
immortal?
we on pause. They just reconnected the
Show me the Phoenix.
quickly, and we're gonna hop
Show
in.
me the Phoenix.
I'll show you the Phoenix.
Is that it? It's the head.
No.
He doesn't have it. What
Why are
the
you even
hell,
playing
33? What
Phoenix
is the
if you don't
point
have
then?
Illuminati
Why are you even bothering?
Pyramid.
Space created my ass. All right, well, I'm already leaning NoPing as a result of this information.
So we were wrong. That's gonna be
Oh, it's
Cold
Quas.
Snap, Quasvex Invoker. But he saw Limmp picking up the Bloodseeker.
Oh, so it's, yeah, so it's, I guess. Well, I mean, X-Word versus a melee mid, I feel like would be pretty good.
It would, but this other build is also fine. Like just having the cold snap when he gets close, you're gonna keep harassing him. Like once you get to that blades of attack for some extra damage, that's gonna help you a lot. Also, if Alliance will play aggressive on the side lanes, that will give Bloodseeker extra attack speed on his thirst, which will make his lane easier.
Enchantress is in one of the lanes, and so like her lane's never going to get low, especially since it's a support Enchantress with KJ playing it. So with the Nature's Attendants, that may not work as well. I'm curious to see how it'll turn out. I feel like this may be a somewhat difficult lane for Limmp, but we'll see as Snapfire and Disruptor brawling it out over these runes.
Oh, you have a dragon? I have a bigger one.
Is it a dragon that
I don't
Disruptor's
know,
riding?
it's some kind of lizard.
Yeah, it doesn't have arms. None of the cosmetics have arms. They're just like two-legged little raptor things. They're very strange looking. Mid lane, 40R does roll up with the first point in the Quas. So not going to be too much of a concern, which is why Limmp feels confident. He will take Blood Rage at level 1. No big deal. Elsewhere, KJ taking a little bit of abuse from this Phoenix Pangolier lane. As we mentioned, this is a 5-position Enchantress. Supporting his Spectre. Gets his salve cancelled, but he has Impetus. So it's not really the easiest hero to... Yeah, like KJ is more than willing to contest Handsken for this. Did he use his Impetus? That was like a melee range Impetus. I don't know why he did that.
Oh,
man, Handsken's getting
he's
destroyed.
in trouble.
Yeah. KJ makes sure that all the creeps come back home, but they go up the stairs and they will be met again by Pango. Elsewhere, Snapfire somewhat intercepts the pull, but not successfully enough. Only grabs 2 of the creeps, not all 3, so that pull's going to go off. Limmp is doing fantastic. 6-3. 7-3 versus the 2-2 Invoker. I'm really surprised that he went for Quas first.
54 damage against the almost 70 on Bloodseeker. Dodged that tornado.
He didn't even get the last hit on the range creep with that tornado. Feels really bad.
You have no mana left on this Invoker to work with.
Yeah. Not great. Not a great situation in the mid lane.
Like, you want to harass Bloodseeker as much as you can, but there's a lot of resources already used. And he's getting full HP. He has that 1 point in Blood Rage on top of haste.
Yeah, he still has his salve. He hasn't
And
used his salve yet.
he does not care anymore, so he can be using that the Blood Rage on himself to get the last hits and yeah, and get his HP up.
Yeah, he's just waiting to get low enough to need to use his salve because there's no burst damage coming from Invoker. There's no random Sunstrike potential. I'm very, very surprised with this turn of events. And now Limmp gets Windlace and his Wraithband delivered. He's going to salve up. Does not backpack the Wraithband. Wow, I thought that's what all pro players do. Limmp, what are you doing, man?
He should be fine.
He should be fine.
Blood Rage will get him to full HP.
This is.
I was just watching the mid lane.
I'm watching the mid lane, yeah. It's soothing stuff to watch an Invoker get slapped. I guess we'll move elsewhere. Tavo activates the Retaliate. He's gonna cut the creep wave. This is just what Dota is these days. Nikobaby's fine. He's last hitting just fine underneath the tower. Has only stats, no regen, but you know he's got a disruptor supporting him. He's all good.
Handsken will suicide, but not really.
Not enough time. You gotta wait more to make sure that you don't give up the kill.
I mean, it's still suicide, right?
Sure.
I was not wrong.
You're right. You're right. But the game does not interpret it that way. The game gives credit, and first blood is claimed. Dude, what is happening in this mid lane?
For Enchantress, Medusa still getting a free farm on the bottom lane. They did not block this spot, so Fata will be dragging the creep wave and pulling the creeps, securing some XP and free gold for himself.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It was 19-7 to 11-5. This is brutal.
Invoker doing better than I expected.
Yeah, it's sticking to Quas Wex. 2 points in each.
He used a lot of mana. level 1.
Yeah, he keeps tornadoing to get these range creep last hits. Handsken taking a boost from KJ, but KJ is now out of mana and chance a ghost creep, which can slow down these heroes. And 33, 2 armor on the Phoenix, so not that bad. Now Centaur actually topping last hits. 26 and 5. His lane is going swell as well.
We praised Tao before the game started. Our boy still has it. Just a casual bracer. I mean, you can harass him, but, you know, retaliate. It might turn back on you.
Yeah, he wants to get harassed. The Centaur is more than happy to tank these little weak last hits, or weak attacks from Medusa this early on. 33 getting abused by this Frost Ghost. Will he even get the last hit, or will it time out? Oh!
One more!
Alright, he gets it. But the dagger comes out. Fairy Fire has to be activated by 33. And he does actually not get a salve delivered, only some tangos. So he's getting zoned out. But Enchantress has moved on to the mid lane. They want to go on Limmp.
He already used the tornado.
Cold
Let's
snap.
see the damage.
Here's the impetus. EMP is not really going to do that much, and Limmp is going to be fine. Nice attempt, but you're going to need more damage, and a Quaswex Invoker does not offer that. Need more than just an Enchantress to support that.
Misused tornado. There was no communication. And Handsken will drag the 2 creep waves, actually.
Yeah, and the siege creep. This is great. Taking a lot of damage for it, but it's all good.
Wait, did Phoenix get some kind of a buff on damage? I don't remember seeing him with 70 damage at level 4.
Yeah, that is surprising. I mean, yeah. I don't think he got any recent damage buffs or any strength gain buffs. I think it's just we usually don't see Phoenix's farming, so that's why you never really think about the damage, as he takes an impetus, but that means that he can Icarus dive away and will not take a ton of damage from the follow-up attack. The other thing about going Quaswex Invoker means that you can't really transition into the jungle very easily. He pretty much has to farm the lane. He cannot, I guess you can stack maybe with the tornado, but you know, killing it is going to be the real challenge. As Snapfire does block that camp from respawning. And
you're less vulnerable to ganks when you're playing Quaswex, so you can afford to stay at the lanes, having that EMP or tornado to buy some time for you or your team to help out with the TP rotations.
Yeah, but given the Alliance lineup, I don't really expect anyone to be rotating on the mid Invoker to begin with.
First Stampede.
He's caught inside of this Disruptor kinetic field, but Theolacore gets the cookie and finishes off Fata. Oh, wow. 2 tips. Whoa. Okay. There's that kind of game now.
This tower is gone. 7 minutes in. Medusa already forced to be in the jungle.
KJ taking some damage from the Phoenix and the Pango. He's going to go down, but Kostabile wants a turnaround. Handsken does not get the disarm, but Kostabile's attack speed is super slow. And Theolacore, will he steal the kill? Will he make sure that he does not? Yeah, no chance to get over to the Mud Golems. And a reality over to 33, who is cold snapped right now. Icarus dive not available, and he will die.
Oh, that's a double kill for Spectre. Like, you don't expect the Invoker to rotate this early on. Also, nice communication. Enchantress TPs the mid immediately, since Invoker was making a rotation. They're collecting XP. Tier 1 tower is gone. Centaur farming on the bottom lane. This game looking good. So far, so good on NoPing.
Yeah, maybe those tips on the Disruptor were warranted, because this is a pretty seamless early game. A Rupture up on Tavo, but he will just walk most of it off. Start TPing, and the Disruptor is not a high enough level to get that glimpse off. And he's going to get out just fine. EMP Tornado. There's all of Nikobaby's mana, but he gets the Mystic Stake out before, and so gets a little bit of it replenished. A lot of stacks in the Alliance jungle, though. So even though things may not be looking great in terms of structures, they have a lot of things in the jungle that they can fall back on. Although Theolacore is wise to it, has this Observer Ward, sees 33 farming, gets a little bit of a slow with the Scatter Blast. They're going to have to back off.
Theolacore needs to get 1 point in Lil Shredder against Phoenix's Egg. I mean, he's not going to get it on level 6. You want to get Mortimer's Kisses.
Yeah. but I also don't think Phoenix is going to be that eager to start Supernovaing fights. Level 1 Supernova is just not that great in general. Glimpse onto the Centaur, activates the Stampede. They really want to get this kill on Limmp. Kinetic Field's not going to connect on anyone. Theolacore gets the slow off with the Stampede. Tavo, however, tried to dodge the Blood Right, then was like, screw it, I'll get the Blood Right anyway. But that moment of hesitation may cost them as phase boots. They're clipping through the trees. Tornado not going to connect.
Zoning Tornado.
Let's go. Hem this Bloodseeker in. Cold Snap is activated. Limmp still trying to run away. Scatterblast comes out, and 4DR will pick up the last hit. But now the Centaur's
Medusa
trapped.
has no mana.
All these creeps. EMP though burns off all Nikobaby's mana. They get the Ice Wall and finish off that Medusa. That is 2 heroes going down. Phoenix shows up now. We'll eventually be able to get a turnaround kill on Tavo. The Centaur misses, but it doesn't matter. Theolacore will go down to the Swashbuckle, and a courier kill as well. KJ is his courier in the middle of nowhere. Takes that creep away, and 33 will be content with those 2 turnaround kills on the Centaur and
It's
the Snapfire.
still worth it for NoPing. They got the kill on Medusa. That's the big one. Every single time you kill Medusa, you just slow her down more than other heroes.
Yeah, as long as Invoker doesn't die, because I would say Invoker is just as important to stay alive, and the Spectre, as long as you're getting Medusa kills.
Just TP out. It's that easy. After popping that glimpse.
Yeah, the only disables they have, or the only TP cancels that they have, are the Glimpse and I guess
Rolling
the Stone Gaze
Thunder.
and Rolling Thunder. Yeah. Definitely looking a lot better for NoPing than I was expecting. I was not expecting it to be this reasonably even in the early game.
It's going to be an early Vanguard pickup on Centaur. Another Haunt.
They're going in on the bot lane. Nikobaby caught all alone. He's getting cold snapped, ice walled. The cookie actually goes past him, but they are likely going to be able to finish off this Medusa. Don't worry, take my word for it that she's dying in the bot lane. You may not be able to see it, but take my word for it. Yeah, she died. But it's all good. You're seeing Tavo escape in the mid lane from this Rolling Thunder. He's outrunning it. He jukes Handsken. A little bit of loop-de-loop. And Handsken's not going to be able to connect with that stun. But yes, while all that was transpiring, Medusa died in the bot lane. 3-hero rotation.
Also, Invoker got a charge on his urn, so that's going to give them more kill potential. The combo, of course, from Cold Snap, building into Spirit Vessel. That's a great item against either Medusa. No way of dispelling things.
Or Bloodseeker.
Yep.
Make sure that dude can't get any of his Blood Rage HP back.
And Spectre on top of net worth. He's just building casual Yasha at the moment. We'll see how the game develops.
Yeah, I guess participating in these kills are working out for her because Nikobaby has just been farming stacks like crazy. And so I would expect him to be higher net worth, but he's actually behind all of the other cores. And the push just keeps on coming. KJ and Tavo putting some pressure on this bot tier 2. They get a lucky shot onto the Enchantress, but Limmp does not want to rupture for that.
We were a bit harsh on this Invoker. He has same amount of farm as Bloodseeker at the moment, working towards that Spirit Vessel. Even after the bad laning stage, he still recovered that move on the top lane where they got
The
one
double
kill out of it. It was really worth it, even though Spectre got the last hit.
And he's got 2 urn charges, dodges the Swashbuckle, but he's caught inside the Static Storm. Gets the Tornado off, though. Now he's just getting surrounded. He's going to get stunned up yet again and just bounced all over by the Rolling Thunder. Mortimer Kiss is coming in, but it's just not dealing enough damage. Tavo gets the Hoof Stomp and the Double Edge onto a Blood Rage Limmp, but gets cookied probably in the opposite direction, but they needed to evacuate anyway, so Tavo's cool to leave, dodges another Swashbuckle, gets hit by the Blood Right, gets silenced, but Supernova was spent and did not get a single stun, and NoPing managed to leave, only losing their Invoker.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Spectre just farming. Haunt was not available, so they did not want to like heavy commit into that.
Yeah, especially when Supernova's used. Snapfire's too far away to deal with it, and I mean, it's just an Invoker. As long as Spectre is taking advantage of that free time, then it's all good. Because Medusa had to show up to that fight. And it does look like Spectre will be going for the Manta style first item. Useful Dispel, I suppose, against the Blood Right, but I would feel that against Mystic Snake and Split Shot, your Manta illusions are not going to stick around for very long. So I'm a little bit surprised that was her first item of choice.
It gives you tankiness. Also, the spell against Fire Spirit is extremely
true, the
good,
Fire Spirits as
removing
well.
the Thunder Strike so you can't get glimpsed.
Fair point. And they will continue pushing. Yo, NoPing are playing very systematic. Tornado gets the vision on Handsken, but does not get clipped. And he's threatening a Rolling Thunder. EMP is invoked. Tavo gets glimpsed back, but like barely any distance whatsoever. 4 heroes down here.
And Earn on Centaur just to keep him alive.
They
Here
activate the Haunt. They're going in directly onto Fata. He's out of the game. A nice little cookie onto an illusion, stuns out the Bloodseeker. Meanwhile, pinballing all over the Spectre, who may have gone a little bit too deep. She's too far. The rest of the team cannot save her. 33 is going to continue the aggression. Gets tornadoed. Ice Wall when he comes down. Now Mortimer kisses, as well as the Cold Snap, as well as an Impetus. Down goes that Phoenix, and now Handsken taking a little bit of abuse, although Snapfire is getting completely slaughtered by the Bloodseeker on the backlines. One last right click from that Alacrity Invoker will finish off the Pangolier, and Limmp gets cleanup duty onto the Enchantress. 4 heroes end up going down for NoPing.
Invoker was so far away. There was still tier 2 tower. After they engage with the Centaur ulti and the Haunt, it gives them really nice vision, but there was no follow-up. In the previous series, we talked about Aghanim Scepter on Slark, who can jump the distance very far away. Those 2 charges, like it's the same thing. Having this global presence could put you in a really bad spot.
Yeah, Spectre, I guess the way that Invoker was positioned right underneath that tier 2 before the Stampede came out, it definitely seemed like everyone was ready to join in, and they all converged on Fata. But the thing is that after the kinetic field was dropped, they were still like, you know, back there. While Spectre was like, oh, I don't care about this kinetic field. I'm gonna keep going, right? We can keep going, right, guys? And then it was just 1 versus 3, so overplaying her hand a little bit.
They're just building 4 staffs. They know NoPing is really limited on the lockdown. If they decide to go in with the Centaur, a Stomp, a Cookie, they can just push people out of the focus. Medusa building a Hurricane Pike, a long time since I saw this build. It's okay against certain heroes like a Slark, or in this game where they have no catch, so they can just keep kiting. I see Phoenix building one.
Yeah, Spectre is going to really have to chase around for these kills. Aside from the target that gets, whichever target gets cold snapped Spirit Vessel, they are screwed. Even a Force Staff will not save you from that. But Spectre still has to chase around these other targets, and with all these Force Staffs, it's going to be very irritating for her to stick onto someone. Especially, you know, if she gets the Mantisyle first, that means that no Diffusal Blade. I don't know if Medusa, I don't know if Spectre's planning on building a Diffusal Blade at any point, but you're going to need to get some control on NoPing against all these Force Staffs. And Limp's soon to come online BKB.
They're still sticking.
Dude, they love this tier 2.
They want to take this. It's apparently very important to them.
Important. It does claim a lot of the jungle power, and Medusa is notorious for coming back from her jungle. So even though it's taking forever to push this tower, Medusa does not feel safe farming on like the southern half of the map. So I guess it's kind of working. Although Medusa is now top net worth, so you can only slow her down so much. Haunt, straight up activated. No reality, they just want to know where everyone is. Oh, never mind, they managed to find out the Pangolier. Adriano gets that kill. But that's a heavy cooldown, 140 seconds until Haunt comes back just to kill a Pango.
It's a position for Pango, so they don't get that much gold from it. The Spectre just finished her Manta style. Limmp BKB, 1,000 gold away from it. They have no abilities that go through BKB, one of the reasons why he decided to rush it.
The same concept that we saw in the Aster game, except Sccc was not nearly as farmed that game, but the idea is you just want to make as much space for your Medusa as possible. You want to live through all these fights, you want to draw as much focus away, and then your Medusa will eventually win the game for you.
Exactly, you are not the real carry here.
Hey, they finally get this tier 2. Handsken's gonna... Oh, the last hit from the melee creep actually manages to outsmart that deny, and KJ immediately tips Handsken. What a player. All right, well, now that they claimed that tower, what's next? They've been putting so much focus on that. Perhaps now it's time to move up to the top half of the map, as that tier 1 still remains.
still pretty even game in terms of net worth. They have one smoke to work with. They just need to outpush the mid lane, so it's not going to be that obvious. Also, setting any kind of vision near the secret shop of Alliance should be worth it, because they have a lot of... Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentries on the bottom lane.
Dude, I'm telling you, they really did not want Medusa farming the bot part of the map at all. They smoke up, start heading towards top. If they can find a kill, great. If not, I'm sure this is going to turn into a push. I think they're maybe expecting an outpost challenge, and it does look like Alliance may oblige, as Tavo does not have a Blink Dagger, but he has Stampede. They see Handsken picking up the bounty rune. They get the Cold Snap. Stampedes through the kinetic field, but the Glimpse will send Tavo back. Tornado, EMP, clips only onto Fata, who gets all of his mana burned off, but immediately mangoes up. And no outpost challenge. However, that also means that both outposts went to NoPing for this 20-minute mark.
You can see the way Alliance uses this info. Medusa instantly TPs to the bottom lane and gets the farm. Now she's just going to start
What farm, though?
farming
All your
the jungle
camps are blocked. And now 40R, he knows that Medusa left. They have vision. They get the haunt off straight on the Nikobaby. He's not going to be able to escape. He goes through with the Force Staff. The heal from the Phoenix does finally come in. Tornado clips the Phoenix, though, and down goes the Medusa with the Deafening Blast. Costabile will pick up the last hit. And no chance for a Phoenix Supernova, as all of Alliance were up top just momentarily ago to get that bounty rune. And like you said, Medusa had a great read, but NoPing had an even better read.
I don't think that's the target that you want to go for.
Yeah,
Centaur with the
tanky.
hood and Vanguard, way too tanky. That's going to be a free tier 2 tower. Spectre getting closer to that Diffusal Blade, then supports need to be careful. As goes for Medusa, has that 20% evasion talent on level 10, but it's not enough items, even though she's still on top of net worth. Now Spectre is number 1, but still, the itemization, like, this Hurricane Pike, yeah, it's going to give you survivability, the kiting potential, some cheap stats. But can you out-farm the Spectre, who has Diffusal Blade and Manta 20 minutes in?
If Alliance were as good at stacking as they were in the first few minutes, then yes. But now that NoPing have been so good at challenging the jungle, it seems like Medusa is just not going to be able to keep the pace.
All these pieces are coming together for NoPing. Tavo finishes Pipe, building the Crimson Guard to mitigate the damage from Medusa. Split shot. Spectre about to finish the Diffusal Blade. Mech completed on Snapfire.
Whoa, they want to try to go aggressive onto this Centaur who has the pipe complete. He's not even doing anything. He activates Stampede now. 4 Alliance heroes have shown up though, so Tavo may be in a little bit of trouble. He gets ruptured as well, still tanking through all of this, and yeah, NoPing's not going to help him. It's too intense of a commitment from Alliance. They are willing to give up that Centaur.
Spirit Whistle doing God's work. Both teams. It's been a while since I saw Spirit Vessel being picked up by both teams.
So valuable for both of them, though. Being able to get the Spirit Vessel plus the Sunray is great for Phoenix. And then obviously a Cold Snap Spirit Vessel is an incredibly powerful combo for the Invoker.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Now Diffusal Blade completed by Spectre. What's the cooldown on Haunt? Where are we at on that? 2 seconds. All right, Haunt is back online. Centaur is going to be back in 5 seconds. Stampede was used, so it will still be on cooldown for a little while longer, but to me this looks like as good of a signal to go for a pick as possible. What has Invoker been building, by the way?
BKB.
Wow.
He does not want to get glimpsed.
Yeah.
And wants to be able to just stand the ground. Once again, they have no abilities besides Rupture that go through BKB.
Spirit Vessel BKB, that is one hell of a build from an Invoker.
So far, so good. It's working for actually 5-1-5 on that Invoker.
Yeah, he's been doing great.
They need to outpush the lanes, use that Haunt, get the advantage.
Yeah, because unfortunately, as great as things are for NoPing, they're not good at taking Roche. This is not a good Roche taking team. And Alliance, they can take Roche much more easily with just like a simple pickoff. So, oh, Haunt activated. They want to see who they can go for. They find the Phoenix. Phoenix ends up Icarus diving away, activates the TP, but that's not going to happen. 33 knows better. Not going to activate the Supernova, no point, especially once there's a Snapfire right next to you. And They get a kill, but it's a pretty expensive cooldown. Haunt being used just for a Phoenix, not the best pick. Ideally, they were hoping to find a Medusa, but they will claim that kill and immediately move on to the top tier 1 tower as Enchantress. Actually, a long way from home. She gets picked up in the mid lane.
Glimmer Cape is cool, but they have sentries. They have Thunderstrike, which gives true sight. Same goes for Bloodseeker's passive. If you drop low, surprised that Invoker did not pick up level 15 talent, the Cold Snap cooldown reduction.
Yeah.
You can skip the talents. You don't necessarily have to pick the bad level 10 talent. It's not that great.
Yeah, he skipped the 15 though. That is surprising. And he has his BKB completed on the Invoker, so I guess they're just going to wait until Haunt comes back. Took the tier 1 tower top. Did not want to move on further. And now
here it is. Hurricane Pike, Manta style, has Rapier queued up on Dusa.
Wow. Here it is, I guess.
The first one.
Oh, okay. You have a lot of hope in this alliance plan then.
Oh, Pupil's Gift on Medusa. I really love that one. Gives you a lot of strength if you think that intelligence is strength as well.
Yeah, exactly. So much effective HP for an Agi hero who can take advantage of mana like the Medusa. I don't know if I'm very on board with NoPing just kind of being like, Haunt, let's go. Yeah, super combat. And then once Haunt is on cooldown, they're like, all right, cool. Let's just chill for another 2 minutes.
Yeah, I believe they should be fighting more, even when Haunt is not up.
33, taking a little bit of damage from the Invoker, but it's just Invoker. Activates the BKB, Deafening Blast as well. Invoker gets ruptured, so his BKB is only going to protect him so much. He's running through all of it. He activates the Ghost Walk until like 1 HP. Dude, you're in Thirst Vision.
I don't think he understood that he was ruptured.
Yeah, he just sprinted that entire rupture with his BKB. Assuming that it gave him immunity? I have no idea.
I didn't know it gives you damage immunity.
Oh, yeah. Pure damage means
rupture.
nothing.
I mean, he could not TP, to be honest. There's a basher on Bloodseeker,
I mean,
but
still,
you could still
that
try.
Chance, yeah. And there we go. Immediate movement into Roche. Bloodseeker plus a Medusa and plus the disarms from Tango, they can take Roche very easily. But why not go for some kills instead? Fata's under attack. They find Theolacore with the Snapfire. He gets glimpsed back. He will be the victim from this rotation. They're not going to use Static Storm. They will save that for a potential Roche fight. As Haunt comes in, now Fata will activate the Static Storm. As Reality comes in, he will die to the Dispersion, but they caught the Spectre, and that's all you really need. In comes the Mortimer Kisses, and that Reality was the death of that Spectre. Down goes the Snapfire as well, and things are spiraling out of control very quickly for NoPing.
That's why I said they should keep fighting without Spectre ulti, because they can't do things like this if it's not on cooldown.
I mean, they used the Haunt, but Spectre was up there on the high ground all by her lonesome. Great patience by Fata to not pop his Static Storm on that Snapfire kill. Snapfire is not worth it, but if Spectre haunts on you, you can be damn sure that he'll pop all of his cooldowns immediately. They will successfully take the Roche. Nikobaby will claim the Aegis, and the net worth has now swung in favor of Alliance. Not dramatically, but you can tell that some serious damage has been done.
It feels like NoPing is on the clock right now.
Yep.
You have Medusa, who's about to hit level 20,
with a
getting closer to Divine Rapier with Aegis, and all it takes is one bad fight.
Tavo, very tanky, but also 1v4.
Very dead unless he uses ulti. There's another silence.
Yeah, down he goes. Titan Sliver in the inventory for the Medusa right now, another great item for her. Sends the spider legs back home. I imagine you can give that to the Pango or the Bloodseeker. And now 33 Supernova is becoming a bigger and bigger issue. You always have Snapfire's little shredder, but still. The more
We
levels
haven't seen her using Shredder to kill the egg. I mean, you can't kill the egg if 33 is not using egg. That's pretty smart.
I mean, he was more than happy to use it on that Centaur kill. He was like, oh boy, finally a chance that I can use it and not immediately die. EMP Tornado on the mid lane. Surprised this mid-tier 1's still up, but that may just be a bait. Theolacore gets to the high ground. They're under vision. They get the glimpse. He will go down. map's starting to get very small for NoPing.
Seems like we have this little meta already being constructed throughout this tournament. Bloodseeker and the Medusa, where you just doesn't matter how far behind you're playing from. It's the ability to come back into the game. All it takes is one mistake. You go into the Roche pit, get that Aegis, and once you get Divine Rapier, the game just seems like it's done.
BKB activated on the Invoker. He does manage to kill off Fata, and that Static Storm is not going to really stop anything. Although a nice Stone Gaze stops a bunch of NoPing heroes on the high ground. Alliance feel confident though. They have the Aegis. They want to keep fighting. Nice 2-hero Hoof Stomp. And the EMP, Ice Wall as well. Nikobaby's going to be able to get out. Does not lose that much mana. Limmp activates his BKB, but he's just going to run out.
Defensive egg.
And that's going to make sure that NoPing does not want to chase any further. Only end up losing the Disruptor, and that costs a BKB charge for the Invoker.
Double damage Medusa.
Oh, geez.
Getting closer to that Rapier. If she sells 2 raid bands, she's going to have enough money.
Another thing that's very valuable about this Bloodseeker-Medusa combination is it doesn't seem like if either of them have a bad game, it's not that big of a deal. The other one can pick up the slack. In the previous game with Aster, it was SCCC's Bloodseeker who was just doing miserably, but the Medusa was doing great, and the combo still worked. Here, I wouldn't say Medusa was doing bad. Medusa's been doing fine, but definitely not as good as the Spectre was, but Bloodseeker was getting tons of farm. He was all over the map. And now they find Fata yet again, but he gets a nice kinetic field off before anything happens, and the DD rune is still active right now on Nikobaby. Glimmer Cape gonna briefly save Tavo, but that is just way too much damage. Deafening Blast comes out a little bit too late, not able to disarm. And oh my god, KJ just narrowly dodges the Rolling Thunder stun. He will successfully be able to TP, but the Centaur and the Spectre both die.
If it's time to finish this game, even though they're 2k ahead only, now it's the time. They still have minute and 30 seconds left on that Aegis. Rapier is purchased. This level 10 talent with 20% evasion doing God's work against any physical damage dealing cores.
Yeah, even Spectre can't successfully get these Diffusal Blade mana burn attacks off.
You have mech on Pango. Vlad's giving you extra 25% lifesteal. Anything you kill with the Blood Rage also giving you lifesteal.
Yo, is Invoker gonna Sunstrike this range creep? No. Backdoor protection comes back. Range creep will die, but unfortunately I think all your Rexes are going to go down first. Disarm comes out on the Medusa. She's not able to purge that off.
Purges it off with Manta. That's -2 set of Raxes.
Yep. I'm really surprised that 40R did not Sunstrike that creep. Could have saved their backdoor protection. Now they see Nikobaby, but he still has the Aegis for a few more seconds.
30 seconds to be exact.
Yeah, and that's a clean escape by Alliance. No casualties. Spectre does end up spotting out Bloodseeker, though. Gets the Diffusal Blade slow. BKB
Just
activated.
TP out.
Immediate TP out. No way to cancel that. The game's getting much more difficult now for NoPing. Full racks claimed. They are 6k net worth down versus a Medusa with a Rapier. Not a great place to be.
Even if you kill Medusa,
yes.
like Spectre with Divine Rapier, does that sound extremely scary?
Sounds like a liability.
Not really.
However, Snapfire.
Oh,
Divine
yeah.
Rapier. Now we're talking. Get her talent. She has the talent that turns Shredder into attack damage, right? I think. Little Shredder uses your attack damage level 20. Yeah, so that's the strat. Rapier Snapfire level 20 talent. Let's go. Smoke up. Alliance looking for a kill. Nikobaby does not have buyback money though, so
He just bought a BKB.
yeah, he commits to an item. That means if he dies, he's dead for good. But I don't see him dying anytime soon.
Alliance right now doesn't necessarily need to be aggressive. If they can get a pick off, fine. Turn that into tier 2 kill or go for the top set of Raxes since lane is pushed in. But you can just try to choke them for another 2 minutes, see if Roche spawns, then go for it.
Yeah.
But move as a unit, that's what matters.
Definitely. No man left behind. Especially Fata. Fata seems to be tanking all of the focus of NoPing's initiation. And they are doing a good job of protecting him, because every time he does get initiated on, at least he's able to get like the kinetic field off, and the rest of Alliance are able to converge on the target that's trapped. KJ trying to do a little bit of creep cutting. No backdoor protection on that tier 1 bot, and it is claimed. Nikobaby's just getting larger and larger. He's going to have his buyback money in no time at all. Whatever happened to all the global potential? I haven't seen a Haunt into a kill at all. At this point, it seems like they just want to use Haunt for team fighting.
That's a good question. I see Blade Mails being queued up. Centaur has one. Also, why isn't Enchantress buying BKB in this game?
I don't know.
Like, that's a position 5 inch.
Maybe she thinks he's playing Crystal Maiden. Yeah, I don't really
There isn't
know.
that much magical damage anyway.
No, and I don't really think he cares if he gets stunned. I guess maybe they were really worried about the Supernova, and so like the attack speed from the Fire Spirits they care about. I don't know. That's a very peculiar item choice. I feel like there are much better items that you could be buying as a 5-position Enchantress. Like Lotus Orb, I think, would be good.
Lotus Orb would be dope. Having the spell for your team, maybe getting a Rupture on the Bloodseeker
Reflection.
always sounds good.
Yeah.
Dispelling the Spirit Vessel. I don't know about this BKB. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm just getting mad.
Just don't look away. Click on someone else. Click on, yeah, there you go. Look at all these mangoes. Look at these nice juicy mangoes.
Oh
inside of
yeah,
CKs.
6 mangoes
Centaur's
on Centaur, but if we go back
no,
and
no,
check...
no, don't click on Enchantress. Don't click on him. Post claimed. They are ready to start sieging high ground, actually. Nikobaby is just rolling on up to tier 3 top.
And that's a 35-minute mark with 2 catapults spawning.
And Blood Rage. Dude, this tier 3 tower, someone needs to defend this.
Team? Anyone?
Question mark? Oh no, that's the worst glyph. Also, your tower just died. You don't even get the multi-shots. The siege creeps are still around. What is Dire doing? They're trapped in the mid lane. Your Raxes are falling.
I mean, that's one way of not dying if you
That's true.
if you don't take a fight.
The best defense is to not fight at all. You can't lose a fight then.
And the saying is the best defense is the
Good
offense, but yeah.
But what's the best offense?
Here it comes.
There's the Haunt. There's a hoof stomp that does not connect. Fata manages to get the Glimmer Cape. Immediate glimpse away, so Spectre is just teleported to who knows where. It's a cost of BKB activation from Limmp, but at this point I don't really think you care that much. Having to spend Haunt is way more expensive.
Yeah, it was already a 7-second BKB, so dropping it down to 6 seconds should be okay.
And now they just want to make sure they have an iron grip on this Roche. Fata starting to de-ward on Dire's ground. They're just going to chill. Keep fighting over this outpost. And even if Roche does respawn, I guess Snapfire would be quite good in this situation, seeing as how there is no Nyx Assassin. But it's not going to be an easy fight to win. Haunt is still down. How much more time until Haunt is down?
Only 68 seconds.
And when
I
does
gotta stay
Roche-
positive, that's why I said only.
Okay. I like the optimism. And when does Roche respawn?
20
seconds. Okay, that's a tight window. Basically got 40 seconds with no Haunt. And Alliance can definitely kill Roche in 40 seconds. But that's assuming they know when it immediately respawns. Mid lane's inherently pushing because they took the racks. Same thing with top lane. So there's a lot of pressure elsewhere on the map. And a DD rune! Oh man, screw the Roche. Let's fight Tava. What have you done, my friend? This is not the fight that you want to take. He gets glimpsed back.
BKB by Bloodseeker?
Yeah, a little bit
Interesting.
preemptive. He does manage to walk through that tornado, but he gets the Rupture off onto the Centaur, who's just walking himself to death. DD Rune, Scotty, Blood Rage. Nikobaby is doing immense amounts of damage. Down goes the Centaur. He buys back. Does not have an outpost to go to, though. And Stampede is available, though. Roche respawns. They get the Blood Rage onto the Medusa. Still got time on this DD Rune. So I don't really know if you want to fight face first in this all over again. Costabil, he walks in face first. Wow, okay, he gets Abyssal. Nikobaby is just zoning literally. Okay, that was not.
Was that Spectre? That was
was
Spectre,
Spectre.
yeah.
It was Spectre. for a brief moment, and then it became a puddle of blood. In comes the Centaur, nice initiation onto Limmp, as well as some Mortimer kisses. They may be able to finally take down this Bloodseeker who spent his BKB on the first fight. He will die, immediate buyback, same with Fata's Disruptor, and same with the Spectre as well.
Placed egg, they couldn't get close.
And now Spectre, oh no, okay, she does manage to get up to the high ground.
But the glimpse.
But the glimpse sends her back down again, and the cookie keeps her up. Handsken taking a little bit of damage. Nice Sunray, but qualifiers with that Spectral Dagger cooldown is just all over the map.
And now they can just go into Roche Pit. How low are they? Yeah, they're fine.
I mean, Haunt is down, Mortimer Kisses is down, Stampede is down, but they are going to respect this. You do have a Rapier, and a Rapier is a huge liability, so if there's even the slightest possible chance that you may not win a fight, then I can understand why they're not going for it. Because, like I said, NoPing are not good at taking Roche. If you leave Roche as Alliance, who cares? You're just gonna spend more time until you finally do get Roche, because NoPing can't challenge it. They can make it very difficult for you, but that's kind of hard when their top lane is pushing into tier 4s right now. Their bot lane tier 2 is getting claimed.
They're just fishing for some info. If anyone shows on the map, they're going to use that info, or they can just put Medusa inside. Hurricane Pike is ready to get... but she doesn't care about that mana burn at all. Like, someone's popping mangoes. Like, who had like 4 mangoes?
The whole team does. Everyone's very ready for this EMP. I know the Phoenix had quite a few. The Disruptor also had quite a few. Timeless Relic picked up by Medusa.
And there it is. BKB on Enchantress.
But why? Does it make you happier now that it's actually in her inventory, or are you even angrier now?
No, I made peace with Enchantress and her item build in this game.
Okay, that's good.
I don't think she's gonna deal any more like damage with the BKB. You have a Centaur and Spectre in the front lines. I don't think you should be worried about you not having magic immunity. But
maybe he's playing medic. He's going to BKB, activate Nature's Attendance, and just run around his teammates being like, I'm helping. Oh, glimpse onto Tavo as well as the Rupture. He's going to Stampede, gets glimpsed back. That's a long way back. And Tavo's kind of all alone. But KheZu wants to join in. He activates the Reality. Blood Right's dropped. Both these here. Oh, nice Supernova onto the high ground. They have no idea what this egg is. Nikobaby is destroying everyone with his BKB and the Rapier, obviously, and the Blood Rage. Activate the BKB
Pop
Enchantress.
that BKB.
Do the BKB. Yeah. There you go.
And GG's called. I thought Enchantress is going to type GG. Here comes the glimpse.
She will die. NoPing.
Yeah.
GG
NoPing
out.
played extremely well for the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Then they made 2 mistakes where Spectre was using the Haunt where team was not behind her, which caused 2 deaths on Spectre and gave Alliance ability to come back into this game. Even though they got a couple of good kills on Spectre, it was, on Medusa, it was still not enough. And the Bloodseeker was having a good time this game. Itemization was on point. He understands that he's not the real carry. Medusa will carry the game for him. Goes for BKB. They have no abilities to pierce magic immunity. And he just runs around, gets a kill or 2, buys time for his Medusa. Perfect play from Limmp.
A little bit of split-second decision-making definitely being the downfall of NoPing there. But I still liked their map movements. I thought it was a good idea to just totally dominate control of the bot half of the map. Even though they were constantly pushing that tier 2, it also meant that Medusa could not farm the entire jungle, pretty much. And overall, I like their mentality, but yeah, those costly few mistakes was very expensive. But that will wrap up Game 1. Alliance taking a victory in this 3-game series. Gonna jump over to a quick break, and we'll be right back with Game number 2.